there is a moment that nobody talks about. Not the falling. The falling gets talked about, documented, shared, examined for what it means and what caused it and what it says about the person it happened to. The moment nobody talks about is the one after the falling. The sitting, the quiet, the specific, suspended time between the floor and the decision to stand again, when nothing has been decided yet and the world is waiting. Falling comes in many forms. Some falls are loud. They announce themselves. They have witnesses. They produce the kind of evidence that other people can see and name. Some falls are quiet, the kind that happen inside, in the specific private space of a person who has been trying very hard for a very long time and has reached the day when the trying ran out before the problem did. Both kinds hurt the same amount in the part of you that does the actual hurting. The floor has a specific quality that nothing standing has. It is the lowest point available. When you are on the floor, there is nowhere further down to go, which is either the worst thing about it or the only honest thing about it, depending on how you receive it. Some people stay on the floor for an hour, some for a day, some for months. The length of time on the floor is not a measure of weakness. It is a measure of how heavy the fall was. And heavy falls take time to fully arrive. The decision to rise is not a triumphant one. This is important, and it is what most stories about rising get wrong. The decision to rise is usually a small, undramatic, almost defeated choice made by someone who has not yet recovered, who is still hurting, still tired, still uncertain whether up is better than down, but who has found, in some small available corner of themselves, enough left to try. Rising is not graceful the first time. It is not the thing that looks good in the highlight reel, because highlight reels are not built from the moments that actually cost something. Rising looks like someone who is not sure their legs will hold them, standing anyway. It looks like the opposite of easy. It looks exactly like what it is. The hardest thing a person does, made ordinary by the fact that ordinary people do it every single day. Standing is the win, not the thing that comes after standing, not the eventual success, or the recovered relationship, or the rebuilt career, or the healed body. Those things may come, and they will matter, and they will be their own rewards. But the win, the real win, the one that nobody can take away because nobody gave it to you, is the standing. The simple, hard, unglamorous act of being upright again after you were not. There is a specific kind of respect that passes between people who have both been on the floor and risen. It does not require words. It is the acknowledgement that says, I know what that cost you. I know because I have paid it too, and I know that you did not pay it by becoming stronger or more capable in that moment. You paid it by choosing, in a moment when you had very little left to choose with, to be upright again. Here is the truth that the stories usually skip. Rising once does not end the falling. You will fall again, almost certainly, because life is long and falls are not reserved for the weak or the unprepared. They are distributed broadly, without much regard for who has already had enough. The floor will become familiar, not comfortable, not welcome, but familiar. And the familiarity, the specific knowledge of what the floor feels like, and that you have been here and risen before, is the only preparation that actually works. The second rising is still hard. The 10th rising is still hard, but somewhere along the way. And this is what nobody tells you before you need to know it. The rising becomes less of a decision and more of a reflex. Not automatic, not painless, but more natural, more yours. The floor stops being a foreign country and becomes, instead, a place you have visited and always left. You do not come out of falls unchanged. This is also something the stories skip. The person who rises is not the same person who fell. Not better, not worse, but different, carrying something. The specific weight of having been on the floor and having chosen, despite that, to be upright again. That weight is not a burden, it is a record. It is the evidence that you have already done the hardest thing you will do today. And you are still here. The people who have been on the floor and risen are the only ones qualified to speak to someone who is still there, not because they have answers. They usually do not have answers. The floor does not generate answers. It unearths. It generates only the particular strength that comes from having to stand without them. But because they can say, with the specific authority of personal experience, I was here and I am not here anymore. And the distance between those two facts is only one decision. The decision to try. The real win is not the thing that comes after you rise. The real win is the rising. The decision made on a floor with nothing left but the choice itself. The imperfect, difficult, unglamorous, completely ordinary act of a person choosing to be upright again. That is the win. It always was, and it is available to you. Exactly as you are, exactly where you are, with exactly what you have left. The moment you decide to make it.